Hello everyone. Today I want to make a short recording and to explain the CICD, how to implement the CICD. So yeah. So I want start it at very beginning. Okay. So first, if you want to implement CICD, you need to install some tools. So here, maybe I write down here. And first, you need a GitHub account, because we save the code in GitHub. Um, yeah, and the second one, you need a Docker, because when we run our code, actually we set up the environment in Docker, so we need a Docker, and so you can download the Docker desktop. Yeah, the, okay, and the third one, you need install Jenkins. Yeah. What is a Jenkins? Actually, Jenkins is a tools and to implement the CRCD automatically. So we write the script to configure the Jenkins, and we write the script and to do the configuration, and then we run our application in Docker in Jenkins. Okay, so that is these are three we need to install. No, the first one, it is your register account. Okay, we install this tool. Okay, so you can go to the website and Docker um desktop download. Yeah, you can here go to search the Docker desktop, and in this page you can download pick your version. Okay, to download the Docker and to install it. So after you install the Docker desktop, so you can start this one. I run my Docker desktop. This is just the UI for Docker, because you can run the Docker in command. So here is my desktop. And after you install this one, you can go to the GitHub link. Yeah. Um, yeah. So you go to the GitHub. This GitHub, this is they already built a Docker file, and so we can run the Jenkins. Okay, this is a Docker file. This is a Docker image. It is about the Jenkins, so we can run the Jenkins in Docker. Okay, so basically, it's something like this. So yeah, actually, when I installed the Docker desktop, so this is Docker desktop, and so we can run many image inside the Docker. So something like this. This is Docker. So here is the inside the Docker. Actually, we run the Jenkins image. Okay, so we download the image, and so when we run it, it will create the container. Something like this. This is the image, right? So we already have the Jenkins image, and so when we run it, how to run it, there are the steps. Okay, so here you download and you go to the folder and to you run this command. So when you run it, okay, actually you create a container. Okay, you create a container. So here, um, okay, so this is the Jenkins image, right? So when we run the Jenkins in my Docker, yeah, and here it is my Jenkins server. Okay, so in the Jenkins, we can download another Docker image, and then we run it. For example, our example is about Node, right? We run the app, React app in Node, so that is the Node, yeah, because this image, it has Node environment, So anyway, so we have the code in GitHub. Yeah, for example, here is the GitHub. Okay, here is our repository. So in here we can save our code. Okay, and so here we push the Jenkins file in our project in GitHub. So we connect our Jenkins to the GitHub, and then we pull the code and into this image and run the code in this image. Okay, node image. So that makes sense. So here is yeah, okay, something like this. Okay, so that means we connected Jenkins in the GitHub, and then when we run, when we build in Jenkins, actually Jenkins pull the code from the GitHub and run the Jenkins file, the script, and actually build the code in this node image. Okay, that is what we want to do about the CI/CD. So here yeah, we have the account, we install Docker desktop, we can, yeah, install our Jenkins. Okay, how to do it? We already have the link, and so follow the steps. Okay, I already download, so the code is in my folder. Yeah, this is the code I download from this GitHub. Okay, so here, how to run this Jenkins uh, Docker file in your Docker. So you open the terminal, and in the terminal, yeah, you run it Docker compose up dash D. Okay, so here this first you build it because I already built it anyway. So maybe I build it again. So here is the, yeah, this is the, yeah, you download the file, you download this repository and unzip it, and here is the folder you download it, because in this folder there is the Docker file, right? Docker image. This is the image. I want to create a container from this image. So I can build T and my dash Jenkins. Yeah, you type space dot, okay? Space dot, because here is a space dot. Yeah. And so after you build it, so you can run it docker compose up dash D. So here you create a container in your Docker. So here is a container, it's running, okay? So if you have some problem about your container, you want delete it, right? You want delete it, so you can run this command. So docker compose done. Okay, keep in mind you run the command in the file in this folder. In which folder? The folder with this Docker file. Okay, so here, yeah, yeah. So it's a stop the container. Okay, container stopped. So there is no this container, but we have the image. We still have the image because, yeah, the image is in this folder. Okay, in this folder. Okay, so we run it. Uh, yeah, so you go to the Docker. So here in your container, you can find the container. This is the two container. Okay, basically we run our Jenkins in this container. Okay, this is my Jenkins container. So anyway, so we finish. Okay, we have GitHub account. We install Dockers. We download the Jenkins yeah code from the GitHub and open into the install Jenkins Docker my this folder, and in this folder we run this build compose and to create our container. So now you can check, here is the container. Okay, so that is yeah, we already finish installation. Okay, so here we can, yeah, start our Jenkins because we create a container. What container? The Jenkins container in our Docker, right? So this is running. Here's the running, right? This is stop. The green dot, it is running. Okay, so we already run our Jenkins server in our Docker container, right? So here we can start it. Okay, your type localhost 8080. So this one. Okay, because I already installed. So if you're not, it is your first time to install. So here is your input box. They want you to input the password, right? So where you can find the password, you go to the container and go to my uh, Jenkins. Yeah, so here is a logs, right? Here's a logs. So you can find a long string, okay? Long string. This is your password. So you copy that password and paste to Jenkins page. So and then click next. You can create your account. Okay? Keep in mind, keep create your account because if you forget to create your account, you cannot log in. Okay? So create your account and so here because I already create, okay? So anyway, I can log in. Yeah. So after you log in this Jenkins page, this is the UI. Actually, this is the UI. So we don't need type the command, okay? So we can create a new items, okay? After you create a new item, you select the pipeline, okay? Select, maybe I create, mm, just a minute. Oh, maybe I delete that one. Okay. Anyway, I create a new one. I create a temp. So in the click the pipeline. So here we yeah config. In the config here pipeline, you can type the script. Okay, you can click the hello world to generate the template. Okay, to generate the template. So here is the your Jenkins script. So you can save and you can click build. So this is only the hello world. See here is the hello world, okay? And this is stage view. You need to install the plugin, okay? So here in the dashboard, manage Jenkins. So we have plugin. So in the plugin, in the available plugin, you can search stage, okay? Because I already installed. So here is my installed. So you can search stage view plugin. Okay, you install this one. After you install this one, when you run it, you can check, the stage view. Okay, stage view, and you can click the logs to check what is the output. Okay, what is the output? So that is the basic script about Jenkins. Okay, but we won't run it in Jenkins UI because we know we want um, get the Jenkins, okay, from our code. Why? Because we connect the Jenkins in GitHub and everything we need saved in the GitHub. Okay, this is script also in the GitHub, and then Jenkins can connect the GitHub. So when we click the button in Jenkins, actually Jenkins go to the GitHub to run, to compile, to build, to run your code, okay, on this node server. Okay, actually Jenkins pull your code to your node server. Okay, anyway, so that's why we want to run the code in here. Okay, but okay, so we keep going. How to do it? Now we start talking about CI/CD. Okay, we already finished the yeah preparation. Okay, so what is the CI? CI is a continuous integration. So this is the left part. Okay, so that means when you finish the code, you need build, test. okay, and release. CD is the right part, so deploy and maintenance, okay. So this is called the DevOps, CI/CD, okay. So here, yeah, what we need to do, because we want, yeah, build the application. We want to create a code and build the application, build the code and test the code, and then we want to deploy it. Okay, that is what we want. Okay, we have an example. Okay, we have an example. Just a minute. We have the example. Yeah, we already create a React application. Okay, if you don't know how to create a React application, you can search online. Okay, so here I already have the code. Mm, yeah, and because I create a React application, I added it, okay? I delete the code from app.js, okay? From the app.js. I delete all the code. I only um, left I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Yeah, several lines of code. So yeah, I don't need this one actually. Anyway, I leave it here. So there's a yeah, component, right? Only return a title. Okay, this is my Jenkins app. So this is my code, and um, I have a Jenkins file. This file actually, see, I open my project, okay, in my project folder. Okay, after you create a React, you need to go to this folder, your project folder. Okay, keep in mind. So when you open it in VS Code, you double check. Okay, every file in this folder. Now this is your current folder. Okay, when you open the terminal, you double check. Okay, here is your current folder. Okay, your current folder, it is your project folder. So in here, when you create a new file about Jenkins file, you can click new create a file. Yeah, you can click here create a file. Keep in mind the Jenkins file is in your project folder, not in this source and public. Okay, so here we have the Jenkins file, and in this file I create yeah, two stage. Okay, we check the code. So here is the pipeline. Okay, if you're not sure, you can do like this. Um, yeah, this is the template, right? You can copy this one. I'll do it again, okay? Mm, yeah, just a minute. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I'll do it again, okay? So here is the Jenkins file. Yeah, you have the you have Jenkins file, right? So yeah, and then you go to the Jenkins to copy this template. Okay, copy this template, paste it here, and so yeah, we work based on this one. Okay, so first, yeah, we want to run this code in a Docker, right? Uh, in a Docker's container. Oh, where's here? This one. Yeah. Yeah, we need to build this environment because we need to run this code in Node, right? In Node environment. Okay, so we need to create this Node environment. This environment also a Docker. I already draw this here, okay? For each rectangle, it is a Docker, right? So Node is a Docker. So we need to pull the Docker from the Docker hub, right? So here is your Docker hub, and you can search the node version in Docker Hub, right? So here is the node, here type, and here is node. Yeah. What is the version you need so you can check your local version, your type node v, this is your version. Okay, so you go to the Docker pub and click the tags. So you search 22. Okay, this is your version, and yeah, here this one. But usually we won't pick this one because the size is big, so we go back to pick Alpine. So okay, maybe a search. Okay, oh, maybe it is hard for search. Maybe we press Ctrl F to search Alpine on the page. Yeah, this one. Okay, I pick this one because the size is small. So I can copy this one and um, yeah, and create an agent for Docker. Okay, so here this is stage. Yeah, I call it a build, right? And in this stage, between the steps, I want to create a Docker environment, right? Because I need to build my React application in a Docker with the, no, that's not Maven. This should be the, I paste it here. This is my image version, okay? And later, because in the test stage, I also want to run in the same environment. So I set up reuse node. Okay, so I create yeah, Docker environment. Actually, when you run this Jenkins file, it is go to the Docker Hub to pull the Docker. Okay, in your Jenkins Docker, where it is here, in your Jenkins Docker, it pull a Docker. It is a port Docker image, right, with the node from the Docker Hub. Okay, so anyway, so we have this one, and for the build, yeah, we want to build this application, right? So how to build your application? If you run the command, you can check this package.json. So here is a build command, right? So here you can npm. Oh, sorry, this is a run build. Yeah, run build. Yeah, after you build, you will find here is a build folder in your project folder. Okay, the build folder. Oh, just a minute, not finished. Okay, so in the build folder, you can check here is the index file, and here is the JavaScript CSS file. Okay, actually it's a static website. So for React, actually we build the code and convert it into the static code into the static web page, and so actually we run this static web page. Okay, so here you build it, and okay, so we build the steps. Okay, in the steps, what I want to do, I want to run some Linux command, right? I want build our React application. So here we can check node. Yeah, first we want to run the node version because we check if my environment has node or not. Okay, maybe you can check npm version, and so before you build, you need to run npm install, right? Because yeah, this is in the Docker image, right? So you want to install all the package or all the package in your package.json, right? But this is because this is empty project. There is, yeah, not so much package installed, so that's okay. And then you run build, okay? So I also want to check what happened in this folder. So I want to list all the files in the folder and to check. Okay, so that is yeah, build stage. Okay, build stage. So because in the CICD, yeah, in the CICD for the CI, there's the three steps. So you build your application, actually coding, and then your yeah set up the build in Jenkins file, and then you set up the text in Jenkins file, right? And you run the Jenkins and set up the CI automatically. So here in the first step, we already finished, right? We create a new repository in GitHub, right? So here it already have the repository and add your code on your local. I already added my code and I might push my code to GitHub repository, right? But anyway, because I already have the code here and yeah, I already push, okay? And so here you have the Jenkins file. You create a build stage, right? You create a build stage. And so um, let's put the code into the GitHub, okay? Yeah, you already know how to create a new repository in GitHub, right? So here you click new. This is your typed name and you click create, okay? So I don't want to show this because this is pretty basic, okay? So here I already have this repository, right? I already have this one. So for the first time you push, you can type the command git. If you don't know the command, I recommend you type the command, okay? Make sure you type, do not copy and paste. If you copy and paste, you will copy and paste forever. So you type the code, and after you type maybe 3 or 5 times, you will, okay, remember, okay? You will remember the command. So here we have the reference, no reference, resources. Yeah, in the resources, we have the GitHub command, okay? So for the first time, when you want to push the code, your git init, git add, git commit, right? But because this is React project, when you build a React project, you already have the git. Okay, you already have the git. So you can check your project folder. See, here is already git folder. You can check, okay? You build your empty application. You can check. Here is a git folder. So actually, we don't need git init, but if you want, yeah, you can do it. See, reinitialize, okay? So here, after you init, so you can type git add, git add, commit, and push. But for the first time, you need to connect your project to the repository link. Okay, so I add and I commit what I did. Actually, I update the code and Jenkins file. And then you're like, for the first time, keep in mind you need set up the remote, add origin, and you paste your link, your GitHub link, okay? So here is, keep in mind, this is your GitHub link. Do not copy this one. This is your repository link, okay? You copy this link and go to your, yeah, and so this is for the first time because I already added, so that's why here's the error. But you need to do it for your first time, okay? For your first push. And so we can push origin. Yeah. What is the command? Yeah, here. Git push dash u origin master. Okay. Then push dash u master. Okay, this is for the first time. Okay, so later when your second push, you just type git push. That's enough. Okay, so here we push the code and on my GitHub, so we can check. Here is Jenkins file, and here is yeah, build stage. Okay, build stage. Okay, we already set up the Jenkins. Um, yeah, we already yeah, create a Jenkins file in our code. So we need to connect our Jenkins into the GitHub. So here our Jenkins, it is here, right? So because we don't want to run the script in Jenkins UI, actually the script is saved in our code right here, saved in our project. So we need to run the Jenkins from SCM. Okay, from the SCM. So we select this one in the pipeline. We select Git and we paste the GitHub. Yeah. Uh, oh, where is my GitHub? Okay, here. Yeah. You go to your repository, and so you copy this one. Okay, copy this one and to here. What I did, actually, I I set up the Jenkins pipeline. I want Jenkins to connect my GitHub repository, okay? Because the Jenkins file is in the GitHub repository. So my Jenkins connect to here, and then we'll run this code and based on the Jenkins file here, and we'll run the application in this node Docker. Why? Because in my Jenkins file, here is the, this node image. Okay, it will run, this project will run in this image. Actually, this is just the config because the image is where it is in Jenkins in this node Docker. This is the node image. It will run here. Okay, so yeah, we already set up. Okay, we already set up. Select from the SCM and see here is a Git and here is your URL. Okay, and so here we don't need to change anything in the master, right? So we save it. Okay, so now my temp, this Jenkins job is connect to my repository. Okay, it's connect to my repository. So I connect to the same one. You can create a new repository. Okay, and so we go back to Jenkins. Okay, so now we can build, but before you build, because your Docker, you set up a Docker in your Jenkins file in your pipeline. So you use a Docker. You want to pull the Docker from the Docker Hub. So here you need install the plugin. Okay, so the same way. So you can click available and Docker pipeline. Okay, because I cannot search, I already install. Okay, so here it is. I already install. I mean, you need to install this one. Okay, you need to install this one. You check in the available plugin. You install this one. Okay, so you install this one so you can run this Jenkins job. Okay, so how you click build now. So actually now the Jenkins connect to your GitHub and to run the script here in your GitHub to run this one. Okay, to run this one. Actually, this one, what was that? It is pull a Docker image and run your application, this command line in this Docker image. Okay, so let me wait. Um, little bit slow. Anyway, yeah, it's a success. Okay, so you can check the log. So see here, yeah, it is the output, right? So I list the folder here. You can check there is no build folder. And then when we output the version of the node, output the version of npm. So it is npm install, and I run the yeah, npm run build. So after I build it, I can check in the folder. I list all the folder and the file. Um, in my application, I can find the build folder. Okay, so that means I generate the build folder, same with my local. So it is here, and we can check. Okay, this is a build folder, and this is on my local. But on the in Jenkins Docker, okay, in the Docker, we also can check. Here is the yeah output. So that is usually we do like this. Okay, we can check. Here is the build folder. Okay, so yeah, that is build. Also for the test, it is the same. So in my code, I add the yeah, I don't need to type, but anyway, so I create another. Oh, just a minute. I create another. Yeah, I create another stage. You can yeah expand this one, right? So in your pipeline here the stages. So you create another yeah another stage, right? So one stage is a build, one stage is a test. So we can check the test is the same. I want to run in the same node environment. Okay, both the build and the test run in the same environment. So I also use this same Docker, and I can test if there is an index file in the build folder, and also I run the unit test in the React. Okay, so for the unit test in React, I can here so here is a template of the test. So if you type npm test, it will run the test unit test in this file. You also can copy and paste to create another unit test. Okay, this test is just one test. Okay, if there is this yeah element on the screen. Okay, there should be some element with this text, with this sentence. So if there is an element with this sentence, the result is true. Okay, for example, if I delete something, so you can run the test. I run it on my local, right? So here, um, oh, because this is also here, right? Yeah, and anyway, so if I add something, we test it. Um, yeah, it is a file. Okay, it is a file. So the text not success, it is a file. So and so here that means it is a success. Let me run it. I run it again. Yeah. So I run the test. Yeah, in my local, right? In my local. Okay. So I create a test, and I push the code. Okay. I also update this Jenkins file, so I push the code. It's the same idea. Git add and git commit. Yeah, update uh, add test. Yeah, and uh, no, no, git push. Yeah, it is a push. Okay, so here is in the GitHub. Um, yeah, check, we refresh. Okay, so here is our code, right? It's an update in the GitHub. So we go back to Jenkins and we build it. Okay, basically when we build it, actually we click the build button in Jenkins. Jenkins will, yeah, connect our GitHub and pull our code and into this node Docker and run our code in Docker. Okay, how to run? Because it will check the Jenkins file. In the Jenkins file, here are several commands. It will run this command. Okay, so we go back to Jenkins. Yeah, it's a success. Just a minute. Yeah, so here is running and wait, almost done. Yeah, it's done, right? So we check the log when we build. Okay, so it is the same, right? It is the same. And when we test, we check the log. So here, see, one test case passed. Okay, one test case passed. It's same in my local. When I run it in npm here, it's a one test case passed. Okay, so here is also one test case passed. Okay, and so there's no error. So we have this CI. Okay, this is CI. Yeah, actually we create our code and we build it by using Jenkins and we test it by using Jenkins. Okay, so here is yeah. Next one I'm gonna talk about the CD. CD is a continuous deployment. Yeah, sometimes yeah, it is actually here in my here. Um, yeah, we want actually we run it in this Docker, right? In this node Docker container, right? In the Docker container. So we want we just build test it. Actually here we need to deploy it. Okay, we need to deploy it. Okay, I want to deploy Jenkins on yeah some web server. Okay, so we use yeah Netlify. So here is the Netlify. Okay, here is the Netlify. So yeah, okay, this is a website. I want to deploy our code on this website. So that means Jenkins connect your GitHub to pull your code and run your code on this node Docker, right? Docker container. So after you run it, you already yeah, you build it, right? You build it, you test it, you already generate the static file, and you want to save this file into this website. Okay, actually here you save this file in the static file in this website, so this website can host your static website. Okay, can host your application. So this is a deploy. It will generate the URL. So when you click the URL, yeah, it will run your website. Actually, it's a static static page, right? So here we what I need to do it is just a minute. My we want to create account, right? We want to create account. This account is Net Netlify, and so here, yeah, yeah. I already have account. Okay, this is not too hard. So when you create account, yeah, you can go to this dashboard, right? I recommend you use maybe your GitHub account, and yeah, to connect this one. Okay, so here is my account. Anyway, so we have this dashboard, and so how to host a website in this Netlify. So that is pretty easy, okay? So you can upload the file because it is a static website, no database, okay? Just the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay? So here you can upload the file to host. For example, I have the file, maybe, yeah, I have a folder here. There's a folder, only one file. In this file, well, I can check. So yeah, this is only one page, okay? I generate the HTML page. I show some information. This is manual development something, okay? So here in in Netlify, so I can upload. So see here is your browse and upload. So I upload the file. Yeah, click the folder name and upload. Yeah. After you upload, it generate the site, okay? Generate the site. And so you go to your dashboard. So you have the site, okay? Your site. So that is, yeah, you can click this one and click the link. So see, it run this index, okay? It will run this index. So basically, you can upload um, your React application, something like this, okay? So, just a minute. Yeah. So because in this build folder, it is a static, right? So you also can upload the build folder, yeah, in your Netly Netlify, okay? But there's a problem for each time your upload. Yeah, maybe we try this one, okay? So upload. So I upload the build folder. This is my Jenkins app. Here's the build folder, right? So I try to upload. Yeah. So this is my site, okay? You click and you click the link. See, this is my Jenkins app. Does that make sense? So because I already built my React code uh, in local, so it generate a build folder, right? Actually, this is your static website. It converts the React code, JSX. When you build, actually you convert the JSX code in your vanilla JavaScript, okay? HTML, CSS, vanilla JavaScript. So all the code is in the build folder. We can deploy this build folder. This is your static website, okay? Yeah, for this project. Anyway, so see, this is also works, right? But there's a problem for each time, even the tiny change. So you need like, yeah, run build on your local, generate the file, and click upload in this website, right? So for each time, okay, you need to do it again, again, again. And so now, yeah, we will try to, yeah, continuous deployment by the Jenkins, okay, by the Jenkins. So first, because here in Netlify, we click the button to upload our file. But now I want the Jenkins can connect our Netlify automatically without UI. Okay, without UI, we don't need to click something. Jenkins connect the Netlify automatically. Okay, how to connect automatically? Because Netlify we use the UI to click. But also Netlify can have a CLI. Okay, so I open this page. Yeah, maybe I close that one. Yeah, this is yeah, Jenkins CLI. So what is a CLI? So that means we can access Jenkins without the browser. Okay, without the browser. So we can use command to access the not access the Jenkins, access the Netlify. Okay, we can use command to access the Netlify without UI. So I don't need like click here, click there. Okay, so that is easy for Jenkins because Jenkins can run the command. Okay, so the basic idea so is that I put the command here, and in this Jenkins file, Jenkins can run this file, and this file will connect the Netlify. Okay, so what kind of command I need put? So here, this one. Okay, so I need to install this CLI so that I can type the command and the Netlify command in Jenkins. Okay, so yeah, so I install the CLI. Yeah, just a minute. Where's my window? Okay, my window is here. Okay, so here basically I create another stage. Okay, I create another stage. Yeah, in this maybe this is not what I want, but anyway. So I also use the same image, right? The Docker image. Okay, so I can do what? I want to install Netlify CLI so that I can use command, right? I can use command. I can run the command in Jenkins, okay, to access the Netlify. Okay, so here we can install. Yeah, you can. Where's the command here? Yeah, install here. I don't want to install for the global. Okay, I just install the um, okay, and then you want to what? After your install, npm install, and the Netlify is in the module, okay, node module. So in the node module, I can run the Netlify command, okay. So you can get this. Maybe I copy this one. Yeah, not module. This bin folder. Here is this Netlify. You can run the command, okay. So here I just want to check version. Okay, I check the version. So I install. Actually, it's a npm install similar with the local because you install a package, right? You install a package. So if you install in local, that is similar, right? So similar. So here we yeah, this is npm. This is node module. So why we need to like this? Because in your GitHub, so you can check there is no node module, right? So when you push the code on GitHub, because in your React application, this is not git ignore, right? It won't like push this folder. Okay, they also won't push the build folder. So that's why these two folders is only for local. But in here, we have node as a build and node module folder, right? But when we run this in Docker container, right? In Docker container, so yeah, we need this node module. So that's why when we build, we run npm install, because in our GitHub there is no node module folder. They cannot, yeah, there's no package, so I install all the package. Okay, so here when it deploy, I install this Netlify CLI because I cannot click the button on the page because the Jenkins will access the Netlify by command. Okay, by command. So here I update the Jenkins. Yeah, maybe I show you how about the local. If I, yeah, install the CLI in local, so you can check. Actually, this is in the installed in the node module folder. Yeah, we wait. Yeah, it is a success, right? So you can check in the package.json. Um, Here is your Netlify CLI. Okay, so that means I install in the local, right? After you install in the local, so you run this command. So here, maybe try this one. Yeah. So here is your, yeah, version. Okay, your version. And so I don't want to run it local. Okay, so that is the same idea. I need to push the code. Okay, push the code to GitHub. Yeah, anyway, we push it later. Okay, so after we run this one, after we yeah, install the Netlify CLI, what I need to do, I want to deploy the product, right? I want to deploy. So here, I need the site ID, okay? The site ID. Where is the site ID? So because I already have this project, yeah, before you deploy, yeah, for sure, you need a project here. Maybe which one? Okay, maybe this one, okay? This is a project. Actually, this is only one index file, right? I just show you. So when I yeah, deploy in this project, this is a site, so it will cover the file. Okay, so you don't, no worries. Okay, so okay, so I need to save the file ID. Okay, the site ID. Where is the site ID? Maybe you can check the configuration. So in this configuration, you can, yeah, check. This is the name. This is the ID. Okay, you copy this ID and paste it into your Jenkins because you need to know, okay, where you deploy. Okay, where you deploy. So here you can like deploy. Okay, so we create a variable to save this site ID. Okay, and environment. Yeah, we already learned how to create a variable. So I say this a site ID and I save this 9 netlify ID. Okay. Yeah, and then we know, okay, here we can, yeah, deploy, right? And so we we output the ID here. Okay, so I just copy the code. Yeah, we just output the information. Okay, output the information, and so yeah, this is the site ID. Okay, just output. So here and okay, I want to deploy, okay, the build folder, because build folder is a static folder, right? So I want to deploy the build folder. Maybe I check the status, okay? I check the status first, and then I'll deploy the build folder, okay? That is what I want to do, okay? But we save this ID in a variable, but how Jenkins know, okay? So we need to set up, okay? We need to set up. We go to the Jenkins, and this Jenkins, it is yeah, yeah, you click your uh oh, sorry, not Jenkins, it is your Netlify. Okay, you click your setting and go to the setting and your um application, the application user settings, yeah, application, okay. um just a minute, yeah, in your application, okay, you can set up the token, because yeah, only you have the ID, it is not enough, okay? So you need a token just like a username and a password, okay? So you allow the Jenkins to access your Netlify. So here you create a new token, and maybe this token, I call it a temp, okay? So you can name it, and maybe I name it Jenkins token. Yeah, and so no expire date, okay? So generate the token. And we won't copy this token because this is just like username and password. We won't copy it to Jenkins file because your Jenkins file is in your GitHub. So everyone will see this token, okay? So that's why we set up this token in the Jenkins, okay, in our Jenkins. So we copy it, and go to the Jenkins, and in the Jenkins, so we can, there's a temp, right? We go to the sorry, there's a Jenkins. We go to the manage Jenkins. Okay, so in the manage Jenkins, we have credential, okay, credential, and the system. Click system, and um, yeah, and we add a new domain, okay. mm, Sorry, not this one, just a minute. This is the, yeah, click credential, and yeah, so we global Jenkins, yeah, click global Jenkins. Okay, that is, click system and global Jenkins, so we can add a credential. Okay, we add a new credential. This credential, it is secret text. So in this secret text, we have Okay, so you click system. Yeah. Click system or global, anyone. I think anyone works. And make sure there's a global, okay? Global and add credentials and select the secret text, okay? And so we set up just a minute. Secret text, yeah, secret text, and this one it says I don't think we need this one. Okay, we set up the secret. Okay, secret is your token. You paste your token, and the ID it is your token name. Okay, so maybe I name it my token. Okay, description. Okay, I think that's okay if you want um, something. Okay, so you click create. Yeah. This is your credential. So it's similar as a username and password. You can allow the Jenkins to access your uh, Netlify. Okay, Netlify. So here is yeah, my token. Okay, you go back to your Jenkins file, and in your Jenkins file you can set up the token. Okay, because your token save in your Jenkins, not in your file, because there's a file actually you're in your GitHub, right? So if you save in your file, when you push in your GitHub, so everyone see your password, right? So here we can add, so this is yeah, this one, auth token credential. Okay, you just indicate your token name. Oh, what's happened? Your token name is my token. Okay, it's a my token. So here is my token. Yeah. And your setup credential, that is username and password. So when the Jenkins run this script, it will get the username and password in the Jenkins, right? And so assign to this auth token. And also your indicate the ID. Okay, the Jenkins will know, okay, which site in the Netlify the Jenkins will access. Okay, so that is yeah, you set up everything. Okay, okay, so now we set up everything about deployment. The basic idea it is we go through it again. Okay, we go through it again. So first you create a yeah site in your just a minute, where I click, I want double check the token. Yeah, token is here, right? uh Jenkins token, yeah. Okay, so I want yeah, you create a site in your Netlify. Okay, just yeah, uh, upload some files. Okay, yeah. So I show you. Okay, if I upload the builder folder, so it also works because we already convert our React code into the static file, right? So we can run the static website. So here is the yeah, you create a site. After you create a site, you update your Jenkins file. So here is your Jenkins file. You add a new stage for the deploy, and you run in the same Docker, and but you need install the Netlify CLI. What is a CLI? CLI it is because Jenkins has no hand. Jenkins cannot click the UI on the page, so they need to run the command to access the Netlify. Okay, so later you can find, okay, see, here is the command. Okay, so you deploy your site, your application in this site because I already have the site ID. The site ID, it is here. Yeah, here is the set configuration. You can find the site ID. Oh, not this one. Yeah, maybe this one. Yeah. Site configuration. Here's the site ID, right? Here's the site ID. So the Jenkins will know, okay, this is the site ID and the token. How about token? Token is just username and password, right? So you set up the username and password in Jenkins. So here is the Jenkins. So you can, yeah, in the manage Jenkins and credential, click system, so global one, and so you add a new credential. The first one select the secret text, and yeah, we don't need this one, and so you paste your password, your token. Okay, you paste your token here, and you create the name for the token and the description. Okay, so where is your token? The token is in this website. Okay, so mm, you can go to your setting and application, and so you create a token. Yeah, you also can use only one token, right? Yeah, for all the project to access your Netlify. Okay, that's okay. But anyway, if you want to create a new token, okay, paste the token in Jenkins, and so um, here, yeah, paste the token. Now this one is a secret text. Okay, paste the token here. Okay, so after we set up everything, we add the code, and so we can push because I don't want run it local, right? So I push. Up, added. Yeah, and git push. Okay, after you push, you go to the GitHub, your Jenkins file update. Yeah, so here your Jenkins file update, right? So we can run our Jenkins here. Which one? There's a temp, right? So we build it. So here is basically three stage. So build, test, and deployment. Yeah, we wait several minutes. Yeah, it's almost done. Usually it takes several seconds, maybe to 1 or 2 minutes. Um, but it is a pipeline, okay? So we have build stage, test stage, deployment stage. Yeah, so it's all done. So we can, oh, what's happened? Yeah, we can check this one, is everything good? And this one is a test, the test passed. So this one, it is, yeah, so we check this output. So we install this CLI in the Docker container, right? And so we, um, yeah, this is my user and the Netlify, and then we run, yeah, deploy, right? Yeah, deploy. So this is the information like site ID, right? And we deploy. Okay, and then we go to the link. Yeah, what is the link? Yeah, this is a project, right? So we can open this link. So see here, this is my Jenkins app. Okay, this is my Jenkins app. Okay, so I just want to show you. Okay, this is the link. You can, yeah, copy and paste it to somewhere else. And so what if I update my code? So this is my Jenkins app, and to for CICD. Okay, I add some word. There's a test. I think it's also passed, right? Maybe we test it in here. Yeah, because um, yeah, this is also passed because in my sentence, I also include this several words, right? So anyway, so it's a past. Okay, so I update my code, okay? I don't need to update Jenkins because I already built a pipeline. So I add, uh, maybe yeah, uh, clear the window, okay? So add commit, and update .js and git push. And so I push to the GitHub, right? To the GitHub, and I call that one. So after I push to the GitHub, I use Jenkins to build my pipeline again because my code update, I need to build it again in the Docker, in this node Docker, right? So and I need to build it again, test it again, and deploy it again. Because now this page, it is also, yeah, the previous one, right? Not update, but here I need to wait, okay? Yeah. Okay, we all done, okay? Build, test, deploy. Okay, so you can check logs, but anyway, so we go to this website, the link of that. See, this is my Jenkins app for CICD. Okay, so that means the deploy or also update. Okay, also update. So that is your this a site. Okay, this a site of your application also update. That is everything about the CICD. Okay. Also, we can set up, okay, how to deploy automatically, but I think that is the basic one, okay? And we're gonna talk about more in the class, okay? If you want to review, you can watch this recording. I think I talk about, yeah, everything in this CIDD, the basic idea, okay? And yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.